Happy holidays to everyone out there in YouTube land. And since it is the holidays, obviously it is the season for pie, so let's get eating. In this apple pie, you know, it seems like every single year that the holidays come around, we have like the same 3 pies, you know, apple, pecan, and pumpkin pie. I mean, I guess they're all right. They're not too bad. But, you know, I wanted to mix it up a little bit. So I recently posed the question to you guys out there about what kind of like different pies that you have for holidays or just in general, you know. And man, you guys delivered. So let's check out some of the pies that you guys suggested that I try to make.
So first we start with the pumpkin chiffon pie, which begins with about a half a cup of sugar and 2 envelopes of unflavored gelatin. And on top of that, we're going to add a couple of sprinkles of our pumpkin pie spice. That's just cinnamon, ginger, nutmeg, you know, the whole shebang. Now we're going to mix that together nicely in this saucepan. Being very careful, adding 3/4 of a cup of milk, weighing it out to make sure it's nice and precise. We're going to put that over heat and let it dissolve. We're not getting it too hot, just making it warm. And then we are taking 2 egg yolks. After they're nice and whisked, mix a little bit of that hot liquid into the egg yolks, and put the egg yolks back into the warm mixture. Now that just makes sure that we're not going to end up with scrambled eggs. And on top of this, we're going to add our pumpkin, of course, so it's a pumpkin chiffon pie. And continue mixing until it's all dissolved. Then we'll let it chill for a while. Take 1 cup of whipping cream, make sure it's nice and whipped to soft peaks. Add a little bit of sugar into that if you want to make it a little bit sweeter. And after that's nice and whipped up, then we fold in our pumpkin mixture. I think I let it sit for a little bit too long, so it's a little bit tough, but as long as it all folds in and becomes nice and homogeneous, that should work out just fine. Now that it's all done, you put that into a crumb pie crust. In this case, I used a graham cracker crust. You could probably also use a ginger snap crust, and voila.
So this is the end product of the pumpkin chiffon pie. I think I probably waited a little bit too long in that first chilling phase, but it still looks absolutely delicious. So I'm gonna cut into this, see if I can cut a piece out. Oh yeah, look at that. Oh yeah, look at that. Ah. Oh. Oh my goodness. So pumpkin pie is lower in calories than a pecan pie or an apple pie typically is. But this is definitely not low in calories. That whipped cream just makes it so rich, and it's not too sweet, so you really get that the pumpkin spice flavor coming through. I think using the gelatin to help it set, maybe I'd dial it back to just 1 packet of gelatin, because it does taste a little bit like, you know, a little bit like Jell-O. But those spices with that graham cracker crust, primo. This is way better than your typical pumpkin pie. I'm gonna give it like a 7 out of 10. It's pretty good. All right, now moving on to the next one.
Now this recipe is a granola pie, which starts with melting a stick of butter until it is nice and melted. And then to that we're going to add 3/4 of a cup. Nope, we're going to add a half a cup of packed brown sugar. And then once that's all combined together into a nice buttery, sugary mix, we're going to add 3/4 of a cup of corn syrup with a couple of nicely beaten eggs. And combine that all off the heat this time to make sure we don't get scrambled eggs. And into this mixture, we're going to add a half a cup of chopped pecans, a 1/4 cup of old-fashioned oats, and a 1/4 cup of semi-sweet chocolate chips. I used peanut butter chips because they're absolutely delicious. And then once this is all combined, we add the eponymous granola. Now they suggest using Nature Valley Honey Crunchy granola bars. I went ahead and used whatever happened to be available at my store. And then you bake it until it's nice and baked.
Now, of everything that I had come in, this is the one that I would not have thought of in like a million years of just experimenting on my own. This is a granola pie. So, all right, let's cut in, see what we got. Now, it was almost like a sweet custard with a bunch of stuff mixed in. I went ahead and used peanut butter chips instead of chocolate chips because, well, that's what I had on hand. Woo. Oh, this thing is so solid. I wasn't even able to get a piece out. Maybe if I cut in a couple of pieces, it would work out better. Holy mackerel. It is so much tastier than I thought it would be. Like, I was expecting this to taste like, you know, some kind of hippie trail mix or something. Oh, that is so good, guys. It's nice and crispy on top, but kind of ooey and gooey near the bottom. And with the different kind of like flavors of granola that you could get, and the different kind of nuts or sweet chips that you could mix in, like you could customize this thing quite a bit. I noticed that the pie crust itself is a little bit underbaked, so if I was gonna do this again, I might blind bake the pie crust. But still, like, amazingly delicious. And this tastes like the kind of thing that you could have for breakfast or dessert. Holy mackerel. Yeah, seriously, thank you so much for sending that idea in. That is so good. I'm gonna give granola pie like an 8.5 out of 10. It is way better than I thought it was gonna be. Very good, I love it.
Now this last one I thought was a joke until I did a little bit of research and found out that vinegar pie is actually a real thing. And like all of our other pies, we're starting with a couple of eggs that are beaten, and we'll mix in some sugar there, mix it together until it's nice and light yellow and frothy. In our saucepan, we're going to combine some flour with a little bit of sugar, and then we're going to mix it up until it's all combined. And on top of that, we're going to pour about a cup of water and 2 tablespoons of vinegar. And we're going to mix that all together over low heat until it's nice and smooth and combined. And then we will slowly add in our egg mixture into our warm mixture, making sure that we're mixing the entire time so that, of course, we don't get scrambled eggs. Now we keep on mixing until it's nice and smooth and combined. And of course, while we're doing this, we've got a pie shell blind baking in the oven. Now those beads are just to make sure it doesn't puff up too much. Don't worry, they lose heat pretty quickly, so we can just pull them right out. Maybe they are a little bit too hot, so let's make sure that we cover our hands when we're pulling them out, because we don't want metal beads in our pie. Then we add our custard mixture to the pie and let it set until it's done.
And last up, we have this. It's so strange. It's like poverty pie. You can smell the vinegar coming off of this. This is the vinegar pie. So I did a little bit of research on this, and this is the kind of pie that you would make when you didn't have a lot of fancy ingredients. So this was basically a pie that you could make with the staples that you had on hand in a kitchen. It looks almost like a lemon meringue pie, but there's steam coming off of it. This is pretty fresh out of the oven. As you can tell, It's definitely not a lemon meringue pie, and it definitely smells like a little bit of vinegar. That is so bizarre. I mean, this is like mildly tangy Jell-O. This is weird. Oh man. I mean, this really does taste like, I don't know, like sweet Elmer's glue. That texture is so bizarre. I don't know if I can get behind a vinegar pie. I think there's a reason that you don't see this too often, too many places. No, it's interesting. I'm glad that I tried it, but I think I'm gonna give it about a 5 out of 10. Not my favorite one here. Oh my goodness. All right, well guys, I hope you enjoyed this. I know that I mostly did, so. And until next time, peace out, and you guys take it easy.